Did you know that when you spell Atlanta and you spell Hawks and you spell Utah and you spell Jazz, that you never use the letter D? Ever. In all of them. Nor did we tonight. It's next on POSTCAST.
You are Locked On Jazz, your daily podcast on the Utah Jazz. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
David Locke along with Ron Boone with you here for POSTCAST. We bring it to you live after every single Utah Jazz game. Tonight the Jazz lose to the Atlanta Hawks 147-134. We'll break down how much of this was great offense, how much of this was non-existent defense. Keyonte George exploded for a monster night, dropping 34 points in this one, being absolutely terrific in this ball game. And we'll look at that as well as any other broadcasts or any other reliability pluses that we want to put out there for you in this one. Those are all the things we have coming up on the program for you today. Ron Boone, how much of this was elite level, amazing offense? The two teams combined to shoot 42 of 88 from three. And how much of this was no defense at all?
No defense, lack of defense, and the shot selection was nothing to complain about. I mean, they were getting good shots. The big thing here, David, is that it's as well as both teams shot the basketball. You would think that one team would get over 100 shots a ball game, but they're pretty much on target of shots per game that they get normally anyway.
Wow.
It's just that they end up making those shots there.
You know, I will credit both teams with this. When you get in a game like this where everyone's hot and it's pretty free-flowing and it's frankly pretty easy, there wasn't a lot of impeding progress or altering routes. It's easy to fall into a one-on-one game. And I thought the Hawks kept moving it, and I thought the Jazz kept moving it. Like, everyone recognized if we keep moving it, we're going to get someone wide open. No one's playing three rotations on defense right now. And both teams took advantage of that all night long.
And I think you see that more so with the Hawks. The only player that you would probably see to go one-on-one more than any of the Hawk players would be Trae Young, but most of the times he's going to be making plays for his teammates. Whereas tonight, the Jazz did a great job of just moving the basketball, playing early in the clock, and taking some very good looks. So it was just one of those basketball games where everyone's looks were good.
I mean, the Hawks
and they responded.
Ron, have you looked at the Hawks assist number?
They ended up with what?
Watch this reaction, everybody. If I watch it on television, who's watching on YouTube?
Unbelievable. 43 assists.
43 assists tonight.
Just shows how well both teams shot that. The Hawks at 57% from the field, 54% from the three-point line.
That's craziness.
We're crazy.
The Jazz, by the way, the nice thing is the Jazz offense for the last 10 games was 29th in the NBA. The defense was actually 20th. And good to see you, Steve. The Jazz offense, or the Jazz defense was 30th, and the offense was 29th. So they have struggled in both categories. I mean, we are not putting up brilliant performances, but the offense had really been very, very poor. We only had shot 31% from three over the last 10 games. For the Jazz to come out and shoot 43% from three tonight on 47 attempts, that's a nice turnabout for a bunch of guys that really not been shooting it very well.
Yeah, it kind of helps your shooting percentage coming into late in the year to the point with those very good looks.
Yes.
And
the Jazz, by the way, played 34 minutes of semi-center basketball tonight and 14 minutes with Johnny Juzang or Jaden Springer or somebody else as the center tonight. I mean, that's with KJ Martin out, Kyle Filipowski struggling. Kind of crazy. All right, let's talk about Keyonte. He was really terrific tonight. Keyonte had a career-high 35 points. He's one of four players to go over 35 off the bench this year. Peyton Pritchard, Shaedon Sharpe, Cole Anthony. It's only the second Jazz player to do it since 1988. It was Jordan Clarkson, obviously, was the other one. like Ron, Keyonte's kind of been, there's been up and down. His defense has been poor, and his shooting percentages are, there just aren't that many guys who can do what he can do. He's really got an incredible skill set.
He has a great skill set, and I think once he started coming off the bench, David, his game really, really changed. I mean, to the point where he is now playing within the system. And as I pointed out, as we pointed out anyway, before the ball game started, I mean, his points per game hasn't changed.
Right.
I mean, there's still 16 and a half points ball game, whether coming off the bench or starting. The only difference is, you know, the 3-point shot might be there, but he's getting more free throws there as well.
I mean, that's really the difference, right?
Yeah,
is that he's just figured out how to he does drive and get contact and go to the line well. And so if you're playing in the bonus at the end of the first and third quarters, that's a huge advantage for him.
Well, big time. I mean, and hopefully, not hopefully, I'm sure you can see that he's embraced it because he's happy in practice. I mean, he's not moping around and everything. And maybe if he is, we don't see it. But right now he has embraced it, and he's finding out that even though you're not starting, starter minutes still mean a lot.
All right, so I did a show on this recently. I'll probably do another show on it tomorrow. Like, what is Keyonte George's path to success in the NBA? How does he use all this talent and all this skills? He's got to be a better player than he's been in 2 years just with the Jazz. This is not – what we've seen in 2 years, I'm just going to be totally honest about, is not good enough to be – it's okay on the roster. It's not very good. But he would not be contributing to a winning team right now. What does he have to do? Get his shooting percentage. It's got to be above 39%. It's got to be a better defense. Like, what is your path for Keyonte George being a meaningful piece of a meaningful team?
Or, you know, I'd hate to jump the gun or anything like this, opposed to what coaches have told him or what they'd like to see out of him. I'm sure they're very pleased with the way he's playing coming off the bench because he's letting the game come to him more so than him beckoning for someone to come up so he can go one-on-one or he's on ISO or something like that. Most of his shots offensively have been good shots, you know, for the most part. And the fact that he's getting to the free throw line more now, which tells me and you and anyone else that he's changed his game enough towards something like that is happening. I'm sure if you talk to coaches, they'll give you probably a different opinion on things that they'd like to see him work on, probably more so defense than anything. I mean, how many steals a game are you coming up with? Or, you know, that's so much more to the game, especially developing a young player than what we know. And if you talk to coaches, David, they'll say young players don't know how to play at this level. So the learning process from day one, even to your second year, and that's why that second year is so important because star players come into the league out of college, usually pretty good. They make an impression, but then they digress a little bit in that second year.
0.7 steals a game, not good.
Not good.
0.1 blocks a game. Right.
Yeah.
So no impact.
No impact.
So, yes, there's got to be some defensive impact. There's got to be better shot selection. The one, to me, that's the biggest would be better shot selection. And that doesn't mean that you're putting him in a box. In fact, one of the things I've mentioned on the broadcast a bunch of times is he's 10th best transition three-point shooter in the NBA. Probably better now. He's 2 for 2 tonight. He's 20 of 44 on transition threes. Go run the floor and get those transition threes. When you're an open floor like that, you're a better shooter. Let's go get them. When you're too often you're getting the ball with 6 on the shot clock instead of moving it. You're trying to go one-on-one, taking a fadeaway with somebody all over you. Those are 20% shots.
And a great assessment by you because you did point that out, that the number of points that he gets, got to go over on the big screen up here, in transition. And so now what does that tell you? Do what you do best. I mean,
right.
if you're that good in transition and you're getting the type of looks that you can knock down offensively, you know, if that's what you do best, do it, you know, and work at it and just make yourself efficient out there on the field.
You know what the good news is? That's the natural progression of a player going into year 3 is they concede. Usually, in my opinion, they start to concede where the league is better than they are. Mm-hmm. And they're willing to admit, like, oh, okay, actually, I can't do this. I can't just beat everybody.
I can't get away with that
right.
anymore like I did in high school. And
right. This league's that good. So now I'm going to do the things I'm good at. And I think if we'll see that next year from Key, and I think we'll see a much better player. I also think that, you know, what I liked about tonight about Keyonte, I would add, is I've rarely seen him have really good games when he's the best player on the floor. Like, he usually has really good games when Jordan or Lowry or Collins around him. He's playing off him. Tonight, he's our number one scorer. He's our best player along with Collin. He was able to have that night in that circumstance.
Yeah, totally agree. But
all right,
let me point out something.
Yeah.
You see all those people over there.
Those are all Isaiah Collier people.
Collier and maybe Sexton.
Yeah,
too,
Sexton's walking. Sexton's in the crowd wearing his shirt. I think he
unbelievable.
Took a very quick shower.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think those are all Collier. And then Kyle Korver is hosting a Faith and Family postgame chat, which has about 1/8 of the amount of people as Collier has here. So, all right, reliability pluses.
The guard line. Got to go with the guard line there. It's Sexton, Collier, and George. They seem to be the most noticeable players out there on the floor that were getting the job done. Scoring, it's not everything, but aside, they just seem to be everything this morning.
Okay, that's it, Jazz. Wednesday, Friday, final home games of the year. Come on out. Dan Roberts celebrations Wednesday night, I believe, for the Jazz, celebrating the longtime in-arena voice. Coming out and celebrate Dan. Hope to see you there Wednesday and Friday. If you are there, stop by the booth. We'll get you a Locked On Jazz sticker. And thank you very much for being a part of POSTCAST throughout this year. We greatly appreciate your loyalty. The Jazz slipped to 16-63, 3 to go. And believe it or not, we'll actually miss it. It's crazy. See you.